Hello everybody, welcome to Badlands Ballistics. I'm Chris. We're doing a little fun video today. So it's the day before Christmas, so I've got my Christmas shirt on. I'm feeling the being festive today. My family obviously has a sense of humor because I don't know if it's the beard color or the belly size that's got me on the shirt or got my family inspired to buy the shirt. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. What we're working on is the Lee AAP press. So let's get into it. So before we get started, I want to take a minute and thank you guys, everyone that's subscribed so far, and please subscribe if you haven't. Enjoyed some good growth on the channel. So I'm going to start out by showing you how I mounted this. Just got two regular old C clamps. Plain old 2x4, so it's just 1/4-inch carriage bolts that mount it. And one thing that a person really needs to know is, if you guys can see the distance here, these bolts have to be right on the edge of the wood, because if you slide this in or slide the 2x4 this way, so to speak, the bottle won't screw on to the bottom. So that's real important as you're doing that. So for me, what I did is drilled the holes, and then I countersunk the holes and used a carriage bolt that I could just kind of drive into the wood and then tighten it up, and it worked like a champ. So this is just flush. As you can see, I'm mounted on my finished kitchen counter, and it works really good. So we're gonna just put the clamps back on. And I'm essentially going to disassemble this and then reassemble it so you guys can see how it goes. I mean, I got to give Lee a lot of credit on this machine. It is very universal. You can size bullets and reload cases on the same machine. Only one out there that I know of that can do that. Of course, I'm not going to do any reloading on this little guy because I have the two Dillon machines that I've already got set up. So we'll start out with this tube holder. So this bolt right here is just a standard 1/4-inch bolt, but it's got a nut on the bottom. This is the mounting bracket, and a nut on the top. And to adjust the height of this guy, you just, loosen or tighten these bolts, and that guy just moves up and down. It took me a minute to kind of figure that out. So this is just the tube, just sticks in there, and that's where and I'll get to that in just a second. But as you mount this, you kind of have to fiddle around with it to get it to line up perfect. But anyway, that was not really, to me, very clear on the instructions, but that's really simple way to do it. So all right, what we're going to do is now show you the slide on this guy. It's real easy. You just take the spring off, it slides right off, and these top pieces just snap off. You kind of pull them forward, and then they unsnap from the slide and pop off. And there's all of these different adapters that go on there. But what I figured out, and what I think still, and I haven't tried it all the way, is these guys that are shaped like this are for case feeding, and these flat pieces, and they're just a little recessed. Hopefully you guys can see that. These are the ones that they've got set up for bullets. So the one that works for me is this guy, and this hole is just the perfect size for the 45s to go through. So you just snap that guy into place, slide it on the slide, and then there's a little hook right there that the spring goes to. Very, very simple to put that into place. One thing they talk about in the instructions, they tell you to put a coin between this slide and the tube holder. So they want just a very small amount of clearance on that. So, alrighty, let's move on to the bottle. So this is the bottle, and there's a nut right there, and this piece, I think they call it the bottle adapter. That's what holds the bottle on. But what's more significant is that's the sizing die inside of there. And it had me a little bit baffled because it says we'll insert the die into this, and as you guys can see the die, that's a little chamfered on that side, real flush, or tight square on this side. So the bullet has to go in that side. So when I dropped it in there, that's what happened. It didn't go in there all the way. So you have to fiddle with that. There you go. See how it went in there the rest of the way. So this bottle adapter threads onto that. Threads onto there. That's what holds the die in place. And Lee has got their own little deal of it's a quarter turn, so you can see how the threads are, I don't know exactly how they do it, but that's kind of their signature deal. So you stick that up in there, get it aligned just right, and it's just a quarter turn. Tightens up. So I've struggled with that because I could not get that die inside of that adapter. And then you just screw the bottle back on. So you're styling there on the bottom piece. So now let's talk about the top. There again, it's that quarter turn, but it comes with this die adapter. So this guy is what your standard 7/8 dies thread into the top of the machine. Back to that quarter turn gizmo. So that's for the dies. So you take that out, and kind of back to Lee's universal adapter for everything. So this guy, if you're gonna resize cases, this one goes in the bottom and you put the shell holder on. So that's the shell holder if that guy was screwed in the bottom to resize cases. So you pop the shell holder off. This is the top punch. It just pops into place, goes in the top, back to that quarter turn deal. Quarter turn, simple as mud. So hey, bring the camera in here and show how that kind of, so the bullet will come over, drop into there, and then that pushes the bullet into the bottle. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So these tubes, there's actually two tubes that I think will work on this one, but there's a tube that specifically fits kind of snug into that holder. So you just grab a handful of bullets. The way I like to do it is use my left hand with my left index finger over the hole. And these are the bullets, by the way, that I just did a powder coating video on yesterday. And you can just drop them in there. Nose first. I actually did some yesterday, the base first, and they went right through, but it's better nose first for sure. So we got a handful of bullets there. And then as you put them in there, you just drop it in like that. It's real easy. So then, come around this way just a little bit, everything you can see from the back. So as you cycle that, it's really interesting that this spring is actually what pushes the slide to the left. The bullet drops down in there, and you have to cycle it all the way, of course. Then as the bullet comes over, and then as you go to cycle back, see how the bullet drops into the size die, boom, into the bottle. Drops in there, drops in there, simple as mud. All right, hopefully that helps somebody. One thing that I was going to mention too that I've been doing is, I save all these containers, keep bullets in, and I've got some of this Dillon spray lube, and I truly don't love the Dillon lube. It's okay, I got it from kind of a yard sale deal, but what I do for these bullets is, as you guys seen, it wasn't really not much effort to push that bullet through the die, but I've learned to put a little tiny bit of case lube. Of course, Hornady One Shot or any of those lubes would work, but I just go one little spray on there, let it dry for a minute, and that just gives that bullet just a little bit of lube as it's going through that die, so it makes it a little bit easier. So anyway, we're gonna wrap the video up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe and have a Merry Christmas.